In the realm of the spoken word, there are tales as old as time, stories that transcend generations, their essence remaining untouched by the passing sands of time. Among these ageless narratives, there exists a bedtime story, a tale of wisdom, cunning, and the power of honesty. This is not just any story, but one that reveals a profound truth about human nature, about vanity, and the courage to see things as they are. In this tale, we find ourselves in a kingdom from a time long past, a kingdom ruled by an emperor with an insatiable thirst for fashion. This emperor, a man of abundant wealth and influence, was known far and wide for his extravagant collection of the most unique and rare fabrics from every corner of the earth. Each of his attires was a marvel in its own right, their craftsmanship more intricate, their design more breathtaking than the last. His garments were more than just clothes. They were a testament to his royal demeanor, which was commanding and nothing short of majestic. His majestic highness was not alone in his grandeur. Right beside him stood his minister and the official, both noble figures of stature, their humble attire serving as a silent testament to their unwavering loyalty. These two were known to guide the emperor through his royal duties, sharing his enjoyment of sporting a new attire and providing him platforms to showcase his latest sartorial acquisition. As we embark on this journey, prepare yourself to be immersed in the opulence of the emperor's court, to marvel at his extravagant fashion, to witness the cunning of a weaver, and to experience the power of honesty. This is a tale that will make you ponder, make you laugh, and perhaps even make you see the world a little differently. So, sit back, relax, and let us begin the tale of the emperor's new clothes. Several decades back, there lived an emperor, a man of abundant wealth and influence, whose heart was enraptured by the allure of unique and rare fabrics from every corner of the earth. This emperor, a fashion connoisseur with an awe-inspiring figure, channeled the entirety of his vast fortune into procuring an extravagant collection of exotic attires. Each piece was a marvel in its own right, their craftsmanship more intricate, their design more breathtaking than the last. His broad, muscular shoulders were always festooned in the most lavish outfits, from velvety robes of deep scarlet to silken tunics embroidered with threads of pure gold. Each outfit was a testament to his royal demeanor, which was commanding and nothing short of majestic. As the annual festival approached, the emperor's extravagant fashion took center stage. The vibrant colors of his attire, mixed with the exciting anticipation of the festival, filled the air with an intoxicating sense of joy. The townsfolk, arrayed in their festive best, danced to the melodious tunes and feasted on a grandiose spread of delectable cuisines. The atmosphere buzzed with infectious laughter, lively music, and the intoxicating aroma of spiced delicacies. Right beside him, typically in the royal courtyard thronged with revelers, stood his minister and the official, both noble figures of stature. The minister, a tall, slender man, wore traditional robes of rich purples and blues, the tangy hues of wisdom and loyalty. His outfit adorned with fine silver embroideries that reflected the light of fireworks, a subtle tribute to his significant position in the court. The official, an embodiment of conservative elegance, donned a deep green tunic, belted at the waist with polished leather, and a black velvet cloak lined with sable fur. His single golden chain, a symbol of noble honor, glimmered in the festival bonfires. These two, the minister with his reserved elegance and the official with his austere sophistication, were often seen in the company of the emperor during this jovial time. As the emperor reveled in the thrilling festival, they subtly guided him through his royal duties, shared his enjoyment of sporting a new attire, and provided him platforms to showcase his latest sartorial acquisition. Their eyes often masked their thoughts as they viewed the emperor's intense fervor for fashion amidst the festival's merriment. The emperor was frequently adorned with extravagant accessories during the festival: a diamond-encrusted scepter, a crown heavy with emeralds and sapphires, and rings on each finger, each bearing a different precious gemstone, sparkling under the festival lights. Amidst the festivities, the minister's stoic silence and the official's stern gaze stood out, constant reminders of their unyielding loyalty. As the emperor stepped out during the daily parades, the festival crowd erupted in applause. Cloaked in his latest ensemble, he reveled in their reactions. The whispers of admiration, the wide-eyed stares, and the applause that echoed through the streets were a testament to his vanity. The minister and the officials stood firmly behind, their stern gazes scanning the crowd, their minds likely contemplating the affairs of the kingdom amidst the revelry. Their presence was a constant reminder of their dedication to the emperor, their humble attire serving as a silent testament to their unwavering loyalty. The emperor's unparalleled collection of exotic fabrics and their display was more than a hobby. It was a daily performance of opulence, a testament to his insatiable vanity even amidst the festival's effervescence. In the churning, throbbing heart of the cityscape he proudly called home, every daybreak shimmered with hopeful anticipation, and each twilight hummed with fulfilled contentment. Each fresh dawn revealed a bustling sea of unknown faces, an endless procession of newcomers that contributed to the city's vibrant mosaic. From this ever-changing mix, two crafty, cunning conmen emerged as striking figures of intrigue. The duo was an enigmatic pair. The leader, a man of unforgettable charm and allure, possessed a silver tongue as sly as his deft fingers. His eyes sparkled like a constellation of stars, veiled in an air of mystery that irresistibly drew people in. His presence was theatrical. Arrival in the picturesque city was a grand affair. He made his entrance riding an ornate carriage adorned with glittering baubles and flags of vibrant colors, fluttering in the wind and stirring curiosity among the city's inhabitants. His partner, equally as deceptive, was a man of sly smiles that danced on his lips, luring unsuspecting victims into their web of deception. His eyes, glinting with an almost predatory gleam, had a charm that was as captivating as it was deceiving, a perfect accomplice in their cunning schemes. Together they spun an enchanting tale, portraying themselves not as mere weavers, but as master craftsmen with the ability to weave threads of unimaginable beauty into a fabric that transcended the ordinary. The pair's unique selling proposition was not just the breathtaking aesthetics of their fabric, painted with deep colors and adorned with intricate hypnotic patterns, but the magical properties they claimed it possessed. According to their narrative, any attire made from this incredible material had the power to become invisible to anyone deemed incompetent or foolishly dense. The emperor was captivated by these assertions. He perceived the potential advantage of such fabric, serving as a filter to distinguish the efficient officials from the ineffective ones, the wise advisors from the fraudulent pretenders. A perfect scheme, he mused, and promptly paid them an exorbitant amount of gold, urging them to start their work immediately, heedless of the potential repercussions of their questionable. The duo, with an air of artistry and precision, aligned two sophisticated weaving machines, masterfully simulating the weaving process on what appeared to the onlooker as utterly vacant machines. From the most lustrous and refined silk to the purest form of aged thread, they meticulously stashed away the precious materials in their travel bags. Their fingers danced on the empty machines, diligently manipulating every non-existent thread with the skill of a seasoned craftsperson. The intricate patterns they wove were invisible to the eye, yet they persisted tirelessly, each seemingly vacant movement of their hands signifying an unspoken masterpiece well into the depths of the night. The emperor, consumed by curiosity about the progress of this elusive fabric, found himself in a moment of self-doubt. He remembered the prophecy. Those unfit for their positions would be rendered unable to perceive the fabric. His trust in himself stood unswayed, yet he chose to delegate the task of assessing the progress of the textile. The news of the cloth's singular trait spread like wildfire, stoking the curiosity amongst the townsfolk. Their anticipation was palpable as they eagerly awaited the emperor's new clothes. The question on everyone's lips, who amongst them would be deemed worthy to see the fine fabric, and who would be left questioning their own intellectual caliber? The tension grew. The suspense was high, and the town held its collective breath, for the grand reveal was, "I shall send my trustworthy senior advisor to the weavers," the emperor resolved. his voice echoing in the palace halls. "He is the perfect candidate to scrutinize and report back on the material, as he is a man of wisdom and peerless in his unwavering commitment to duty." Thus, the loyal senior advisor found himself embarking on a journey to the chamber, where the two fraudsters tirelessly pretended to weave at their barren looms. As the old advisor entered the shadowy room, a chill of dread swept over him, his heart pounding in his chest. His eyes widened in disbelief as he stared at the looms. "God aid me," he whispered under his breath, his voice barely audible. "I see nothing, nothing at all." But his shock remained his secret, locked away within him. The duplicitous duo, holding their breath, implored him to come closer, to admire the supposedly exquisite pattern, the vibrant colors. With animated gestures and eloquent words, they pointed towards the empty looms. Filled with trepidation, the old advisor squinted and scrutinized as intensely as he could bear, his eyes searching the looms, but all in vain. He saw nothing, for there was truly nothing to see. "God, show mercy," he pondered silently. "Could I be so easily fooled? I never thought it possible, and no one must know. Could I be unworthy of my esteemed position? The very thought of admitting that I am blind to the fabric is unthinkable and would bring about disaster." Playing along the charade, one of the deceptive weavers asked, "Please don't hold back your thoughts. We value your opinion." Overwhelmed and caught off guard, the old advisor stumbled over his words. "Oh, it's spectacular. It's utterly mesmerizing." He peered through his spectacles, projecting a look of admiration. "Such a design, such vibrant colors. I'll be certain to inform the Emperor of my sheer delight, and glad to hear that," the tricksters responded with feigned relief. They went on to describe each non-existent color in detail, the complex design that only existed in their lies. The advisor listened attentively, committing every word to memory so he could recount the details to the Emperor with conviction. And recount he did, painting a vivid picture of the imaginary masterpiece in the Emperor's mind. But greed always wants more. The tricksters promptly requested more funds, more silk and gold thread, claiming it was to continue their weaving. But all the valuables found their way into the swindlers' coffers. Not a single strand graced the looms, even though they mimicked the movements of industrious weaving with relentless determination. The Emperor, with a sense of urgency, commissioned another trusted aide by the name of Sir Tobias to check on the progress of the work and estimate its completion time. Sir Tobias, a man of honor and valor, was respected for his diligence and commitment to the kingdom. On his arrival at the swindler's workshop, he experienced a similar ordeal as his predecessor. He scrutinized the looms with his eagle eyes, but as there was nothing to perceive, he saw nothing. "Isn't it a marvelous piece of craftsmanship?" queried the conmen, showcasing and narrating their fictitious pattern. Sir Tobias, bewildered, pondered, "I'm sure I'm not foolish or unfit for my esteemed position. How peculiar. I mustn't allow anyone to discover this, though." Fearing that his inability to see the fabric might cause unrest amongst the townsfolk, he cleverly complemented the non-existent fabric. He extolled the vibrant hues and the intricate design, creating an illusion of grandeur. Returning to the Emperor, he reported, "The fabric is so magnificent that it left me in awe." He played well, soothing the Emperor's impatience and curbing the growing anxiety among the people. Meanwhile, the entire city was abuzz with chatter about this magnificent fabric, and the Emperor was eager to witness it himself while it was still on the looms. Accompanied by his elite entourage, including Sir Tobias and the other official who had previously visited the weavers, he embarked on a journey to meet the swindlers. He found them pretending to weave fervently, yet their looms were devoid of any thread. "Spectacular," praised Sir Tobias and the other deceived official. "Observe, Your Majesty, the colors, the design." They gestured towards the barren looms, each assuming that the others could see the fabric. "What's happening?" the Emperor pondered. "I can't see anything. This is disastrous. Am I a fool? Am I unfit to be the Emperor? What a predicament for me of all people." Sir Tobias, noticing the Emperor's confusion, quickly intervened. "Ah, it's quite stunning," he conceded. "Your Majesty, you indeed have a taste for the finest." His timely intervention calmed the emperor's nerves. He couldn't bring himself to admit his inability to see anything, but his trust in Sir Tobias had been enough. Thus, Sir Tobias maintained peace and order in the kingdom amidst the confusing situation. Everyone in his entourage, a collection of the realm's most esteemed nobles, gazed in awe. Among them were Sir Edmund, the cunning strategist, and Lord Bartholomew, the long-serving advisor. Both men were known equally for their unwavering loyalty and sharp wit. None could discern any more than the other, but they all echoed the emperor's sentiment. "Ah, it's truly captivating," and suggested him to don these extraordinary garments specifically for the grand procession he was soon to lead. Magnificent, exquisite, unmatched were the praises thrown around. Sir Edmund, his eyes taking in every detail, nodded approvingly, while Lord Bartholomew wore a smile that masked his uncertainty. Each noble tried their best to appear extremely satisfied, not wanting to contradict the emperor's evident delight. The emperor, recognizing their loyalty, awarded each of the charlatans a medal to pin to their lapels, bestowing upon them the title of Sir Weaver. On the eve of the parade, the swindlers were up all night, burning more than 6 candles to demonstrate their commitment to perfecting the emperor's new attire. They mimed the actions of removing the fabric from the loom. They made slicing motions in the thin air with large shears. Finally, they announced, "The emperor's fresh attire is ready for his inspection." Then the emperor himself arrived, escorted by his most distinguished nobles, including Sir Edmund and Lord Bartholomew. Each swindler lifted an arm as if they were presenting something and said, "These are the breeches, this is the jacket, and this is the cape," naming each piece of clothing. "They are all as delicate as a cobweb. One might almost feel as if he is unclothed, but that's what makes them so exceptional." Sir Edmund, always the first to agree with the emperor, echoed the sentiment, "Precisely," while Lord Bartholomew nodded in agreement, though he couldn't see anything, for there was nothing to be seen. "If your Imperial Highness would be so kind as to disrobe," the swindler suggested, "we will you with your new garments here, in front of this full-length mirror." The emperor disrobed, and the swindlers feigned dressing him in his new attire, one piece at a time. They took him by the waist and appeared to be fastening something. That was his train, as the emperor twirled around before the mirror. "Your Majesty's new ensemble looks splendid, isn't it flattering?" Sir Edmund spoke up first. "That design, so flawless," while Lord Bartholomew added, "Those hues, so harmonious. It truly is a splendid ensemble." Praise rained down from all sides as the emperor reveled in the admiration of his noblest noblemen. As the Minister of Public Affairs made his proclamation, the emperor retorted, "My attendance is anticipated, isn't it?" He then bestowed one final approving glance at his reflection. The emperor, with eyes glowing with self-admiration, marveled, "This ensemble is extraordinarily crafted, is it not?" He seemed to study his attire with deep fascination, his gaze lingering on its imagined details. His high-ranking attendants, trusted with the task of maintaining his train, bent over low and outstretched their hands as if handling the hem of his grand cloak. Their actions mimicked the motion of lifting and supporting a heavy royal garment in the air. Fear constricted their throats as they dared not confess the bitter truth. Their hands were empty. Under the opulent canopy adorned with gold tassels, the Emperor Grand Procession. There was an audible intake of breath from the townsfolk as he stepped out. Gasps of admiration echoed from the streets and windows. "Look at the Emperor's exquisite new attire. Isn't it just a perfect fit? And the sweeping train behind him, what a sight!" The townsfolk's praise filled the air, a symphony of flattering words, though none could actually see the Emperor's attire. Fear of appearing incompetent or foolish silenced their doubts. Never before had an outfit worn by the Emperor garnered such a triumphant response. The square was filled with applause and cheers, the people enamored by the Emperor's unseen grandeur. Then a small voice rose above the crowd. "But the Emperor is not wearing anything," observed an innocent child. A ripple of amusement spread through the crowd. "What a childish comment," chuckled its father dismissively. But the child's words cut through the atmosphere, spreading like wildfire. "The Emperor is not wearing anything." The townsfolk exchanged glances, their faces paling. Indeed, He, the entire town, finally exclaimed. A chill slithered down the emperor's spine as he grasped of their words. His heart pounded in his chest, a grim realization washing over him. However, with a determined set to his jaw, he decided the show must continue. And thus, he carried himself with more dignity and poise than ever before, his noblemen holding aloft the non-existent train and the crowd watching on in stupefied silence. As the echo of the child's honest words dissipated into the air, the townsfolk were left in a daze. The emperor's procession continued, a display of dignified elegance against the backdrop of a silent square, the crowd grappling with the unveiled truth. The emperor stood tall, his noblemen holding aloft the non-existent train, a sight that would be etched into the minds of the onlookers for years to come. This tale, dear viewers, may seem like a simple story, but it holds within its folds a valuable lesson, a lesson on the power of honesty. It is a reminder that truth, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, can cut through the grandest of illusions. It takes courage to voice the truth, especially when it contradicts popular opinion. But as the child in our story showed us, honesty is a virtue we should always uphold. This tale also warns us of the dangers of vanity and pride. The emperor, his noblemen, and even the townsfolk were all victims of their fear. Fear of appearing foolish, of seeming incompetent. Their vanity blinded them to the truth, leading them to praise an attire that didn't exist. It is a stark reminder that pride can often cloud our judgment, leading us astray. And finally, this tale encourages us to value substance over appearance. The emperor's new clothes were praised for their beauty and grandeur, yet they were nothing more than a figment of imagination. This serves as a reminder that appearances can be deceptive, and it's the substance that truly matters. It's not the clothes that make the man, but the honesty and integrity within. So as we conclude our tale, let's remember the lesson it imparts. Let's strive for honesty, let's keep our vanity in check, and let's value substance over appearance. For it's not the clothes that make the man, but the honesty and integrity within.